Inferno, Canto 22. The poets proceed, accompanied by the demons, who with their hooks haul up Ciampolo, one of the barterers. His clever device to escape, battled in sequence between two of the demons.
Oft squadrons have I seen their station change, rush to the charge or suddenly retreat, and swift advancing o'er the country range. Thy plains, Arezzo, oft have I surveyed, hastily swept by light-armed horsemen fleet. Oft been where tilts and tournaments were played, now bells, now trumpets sounding forth alarms, now drums and signals with tremendous din, native or foreign, summoning to arms. But ne'er to such strange instruments of war, or horse or foot advancing have I seen, or vessel tacked by design from land or star. With the 10 demons onward then we passed. Ah, what a fierce and savage company! But saints at church and gluttons at a feast, still on the boiling pitch I gazed with care, desirous all that it contained to see, and watched the spirits who were burning there, as dolphins heave their backs above the wave, prognosticating angry tempest black, signal to mariners their ship to save, so to alleviate the excessive pain. From time to time each sinner raised his back, but swift as lightning 'twas concealed again, as in a trench frogs at the water's side sit squatting with their noses raised on high, so that their feet and all their bulk they hide. Thus upon either hand the sinner stood. But Barbariccia now approaching nigh, quick they withdrew beneath the boiling flood. I saw, and still my heart is thrilled with fear, one spirit linger as beside a ditch, one frog remains, the others disappear. And Graffiason, who nearest chanced to be, with grapple seized his hair all stiff with pitch, then pendant like an otter eke was he. I knew the names of all the demons now, for I had marked them when they chosen were, and as they called each other listened how. O Rubicant, look well and see you place your hooks aright, that they his back may tear, cried all at once the inexecrable race. Master, I said, persuade them to disclose, if so thou canst, who is that ill-starred shade, thus fallen within the clutches of his foes. My guide accordingly approached him, and inquiry of his birth and country made. Navarra, he answered, was my native land. My mother placed me servant to a lord, for she had borne me to a desperate man, who spent his goods, then closed his life aboard. King Dibalt, good I served in aftertime, and there the trade of bartering I began, which now I pay for in this scalding slime. Seriado, whose fell mouth, in like a boar, a savage tusk on either side displayed, soon let him feel how cleverly they tore. To wicked cats the mouse had fallen a prey, but Barbariccia caught him up, and said, While I transfix him, stand ye all away. Then to my master turned he round his face, exclaiming, Ask whatever pleaseth thee, before another doth his form deface. Now mid the other sinners, quoth my guide, say know'st thou any one from Italy beneath the pitch? But lately, he replied, I quitted one who lived that country near. Could I rejoin him in yon sheltering flood, nor piercing hook nor talon should I fear. Quoth Libichoco, not so much delay. An arm then seizing in his pincers rude, he mauled it, till he rent a part away. And Dragignazo would have lent a hook, and tore his leg, but lo, their chief turned round, and checked his malice with a threatening look, when somewhat was their vehemence restrained. To him who still was looking at his wound, my guide without delay made his demand. Who is that other spirit from whose side hither thou lately camest in evil hour? The friar Galmida was it, he replied, he of Galura, vessel of all fraud, who, when his master's foes were in his power, so treated them that all his name applaud. Gold he received, and let his prisoners free. In each employ where he could use deceit, the very prince of barterers was he, with whom to Michael Zanch doth reside. For them Sardinia is a subject sweet, with which their tongues are never satisfied. Ah me, behold how grins the other fiend. More would I say, but fear my tongue hath bound, lest he prepare his irons to extend. To Farfarello turned their savage lord, who rolled in act to strike his eyes around, and said, Go get thee gone, I'll bird aboard. Tuscans or Lombards wouldst thou wish to see? Again resumed the spirit thrilled with fear. Tell me, and I will make them come to thee. But for a season let these fiends retreat, that thus the timorous souls may reappear, I where I am remaining in my seat, for in my stead 7 will I make to rise, when I shall whistle as a sign to them to venture forth, for such our custom is. Turned up his nose Cagnasso, and exclaimed, shaking his head, Hear what malicious scheme to cast himself below the cheat hath framed. Whence he, who had at hand a precious store of wild replies, Malicious sure I am, to make my own companions smart the more. Then burst forth Alishin, inflamed with heat against the rest. Plunge if thou dare to try, I shall not follow thee with speed of feet, but wings shall bear me o'er the boiling pitch. Let's lie behind the bank, and we shall see if thou alone canst all of us o'erreach. Now for fresh sport, O ye who read, prepare. Each from the bank his eyes withdrew. First he offered chief resistance to the snare. Well chose his time the sinner of Navarra. Fixed from his feet, leapt down, and in a trice forth from their chieftain's hand escaped afar. Each demon instantly with rage was fraught, he most who had encouraged this device, wherefore he flew, exclaiming, Thou art caught. But futile his attempt, the speed of fear in wings could not o'ertake. One dived below. Up came the other from his vain career. Thus when the falcon swoops his wings in air, the duck dives instant, and eludes the blow. Back turns the weary falcon in despair. Him Calcabrina followed in despite, thus to be duped, yet still so fair a cause of quarrelling afforded vast delight. And since no more the barterer there he viewed, on his companion straight he turned his claws. A mighty struggle o'er the trench ensued, but Alicino was a hawk well tried, and proved himself superior. Fell the twain down to the middle of the boiling tide. The heat soon parted them within the ditch, but all attempt to raise themselves was vain. Like birdlime glued their wings the adhesive pitch. Now Barbariccia, grieving with his band, sent 4 across the stream, their aid to bear with many a hook, and they at his command full rapidly proceeded from their post. They stretched their hooks to aid the entangled pair, who now were burning in the glowing crust, and we advancing left them floundering there.